So Pro, the local brewery, makes all these cool beers and everyone loves their Oktoberfest one. So last year I was like, Opals, there's so many variations. I was like, what if we did a flight of Opals? And I was like, and then we could do a flight of beers.
Parlé means to speak. So it's all about stones that speak.
So your dad was mining them?
Mining them.
They cut it.
Yes, they cut it.
They'd mine it.
They mined it, they cut it, and they made triplets.
She's such a great designer too, because the way that she it's not just the piece she's designing, but the way she does it with the gems and the colors.
It always starts with the gemstones, and then she's like, how do I accentuate these gems to make them even more beautiful?
Where do you feel like you see the industry going?
I think the industry is going towards things that are unique and different that have a story. And that's what I love. You never get bored because the next opal you look at is like, oh my God, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one.
But the 3-drop earring is kind of what we knew you as, because it was really unique and well done. Like what stopped us in our tracks, her earrings. And it represents your babies and your birthstone.
Correct.
Because you have twins.
Twin girls.
So this is in the vault. We're actually in the vault. This is our first in the vault, and my first time interviewing a boy.
What?
Yes. So this is Jonathan. He's a boy, a man. He's a man, and I'm interviewing him. It's not that I don't care about men. I've just never realized I never interviewed any of them.
Well, you wouldn't be talking to a man if you got it your way, because you would have preferred for Brecken, my wife, to be here instead of me.
I mean,
thanks a lot, Brecken.
I love you both equally. It's just Brecken is so cool.
Yeah.
And she's so pretty.
And the actual designer.
And she's so talented. It's like, I'm in awe. We're all in awe of her. But the way that she designs pieces are just I don't know. One of my questions really is for her, but you can just answer
it for
through
her.
How she would want you to. But I would love to be interviewing Brecken. Hi, Brecken. Thanks for letting us borrow your husband. So this is Jonathan at Parlé. Parlé is who I always say Parlé like a Valley girl. I noticed that when we were doing the
really?
Parlé.
Parlé.
Welcome to Parlé. But anyways, Parlé does gemstones, opals, sapphires. I mean, you do a little bit of everything.
We do everything.
But you're mostly known for opals.
Opal is definitely what we're most known for.
Yeah, and we just love all of your opals. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Jonathan.
So, about me or the company? Where do you want me to start?
Your choice.
My choice. So, we'll start with the company since it's older. So my dad, I'm second generation. My dad started the company in 1973, mining opals in Idaho.
So your dad was mining them?
Mining them, yeah.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, so it started just kind of as a college hobby. So one of his buddies was like, hey, I'm going up to the Spencer opal mines. Do you want to come? So it's about an hour and a half north of Salt Lake City in a little tiny town, one-stop sign town called Spencer. And it's the formation of opal was based on the same formation as Yellowstone National Park. It's only about 30 miles west of the edge of Yellowstone. So it's kind of off that same formation. And so he went up there with his buddy and they met the mine owners, and then the two of them decided to go into business together. And so they leased the mine for 2 years.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So they would mine as much as they possibly could for the mining season, since we have a lot of snow, and once the ground freezes, you're done. So they would mine as much as they could for the season, and then all winter long, they would take the material back and they would cut it in the back room of his partner's.
They cut it.
Trailer. Yes, they cut it.
They'd mine it.
They mined it, they cut it, and they made triplets. So for those of you that don't know what a triplet is, it's where you take a thin layer of opal, you back it with either black onyx or black glass. And so you glue that together, and then you put a cap on it. So it can either be glass or white sapphire or quartz, and you put that on top. So we don't do triplets a lot anymore, but that was kind of how the whole thing kind of got started. So my dad started doing more of the sales thing and going on the road and going to these little rock and mineral and gem gift shows. And
so your dad and his partner mined it,
cut it,
and then went on the road selling it.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Naturally, as one does.
Yeah.
And this was in the 70s?
70s, early 70s.
I think my mom started in the late 80s.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he did that and then quickly realized that he would sell these stones to jewelers, and he'd come back the next time around and they'd be like, yeah, I love those. They're still in the vault. So he realized that these aren't going to move until they get put into jewelry. So then he started buying inexpensive gold overlay, snap tight kind of mountings.
So then he became a jeweler.
Then he became a jeweler. And
Right.
so my mom and my dad's partner's wife would sit on the floor of the trailer and take tweezers and bend the prongs over and make jewelry. That was the beginning. And then slowly after a few years, my dad realized that a mine was just something you took dirt out of and dumped money into, and decided that he didn't want to buy the mine. He didn't want to mine anymore, and decided to go that triplets, people were not loving triplets. They wanted solids. And so he decided that he would learn about Australian opal. And so in the late 70s, about 1978, he hopped on a plane to Hong Kong and opened up the yellow pages and said, looking for opal cutters.
I want to go to Hong Kong show.
It's
Have
fun.
you ever been?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm so jealous. I just want to show up in Hong Kong with no agenda and just go to the
Just
show
walk
and
up.
wander around.
Yeah, it's huge. It's
Yeah.
the biggest
Is it
show in the
worth
world.
it?
Oh, it's definitely worth it. It's fun.
Hong Kong?
It's a good time. Hong Kong.
Yeah. Okay. That's really cool. Everyone asked me this question, so obviously have to ask you because now I see why they asked me. But is your dad super proud
Yeah. Yeah. He's
of
super.
you and how far it's come?
Yeah. I mean, I think he's really proud. He tells me so, but that's what you say anyway. But no, I think he is really proud of where it's come. I think he's really proud of where he took it. I mean, he was in the business for over 40 years before he retired. He just retired in 2020. And he's still doing great. But I think he's really proud of where Brecken's kind of taken it from a design standpoint and really like moved the needle of what we build. Like you really came into seeing what we were doing when things were, my dad was still in the business for a couple of years, but we were already kind of moving that direction because Brecken took over the design about 2017, 2016,
Like right before I saw it.
Right before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it really changed the direction that we went.
Yeah. I think she's such a great designer too because the way that she it's not just the piece she's designing, but the way she does it with the gems and the colors.
Yeah, it always starts with the gemstones, and then she's like, how do I accentuate these gems to make them even more beautiful? So every piece, so parlé means to speak. So it's all about stones that speak. So it's really that the first part of every design is laying out the gemstones and saying, okay, what do we have? What's available? And then what would make these even more beautiful and wearable and amazing?
So what's her process like? I want to see if it's anything similar to ours. Does she just have a pile of stones on her desk and she stares at them for 6 months and just makes stuff?
A bit. Yeah. Yeah. Similar to that.
Vision board in the background. She's pinning a bunch of crazy.
No, she's not so vision boardy. Like that's what I would think too, is that's more Stephanie's thing on the marketing side and on our merchandising side. Stephanie's huge into
She's amazing.
into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Brecken, not so much. It's more she has gemstones in the vault and there's a section that's like, this is Brecken's section, don't touch. So there's stones that people you can touch and there's stones that you can't touch. And so that's the stuff that she knows she wants to work with. And then she'll just have days where she goes and she gets a big pile of stuff out.
So when she's feeling creative,
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
let me create a bunch of stuff.
Yeah. So her degree, we met in college at the University of Utah. She's a science girl. So her degree is in biology, minor in chemistry, and a second degree in environmental studies.
She's
one of those
that.
weird left brain, right brain people that can do kind of a bit of both. So she's a lot of times into more of symmetry and into but she also has a really great vision of what colors go well together and how to mix and match those colors is what always really impresses me because I'm not talented on the design side.
She's so good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's good to know her process is organized and not what you would think at all.
Yeah. Yeah. It's very
And she's a science girly.
science girl. Big time. She's
Going
a
into
way better
design of gemstone.
Yeah, she's a way better gemologist than I am. So we both went to Bangkok for our GGs, and she actually broke the GIA record for most stones identified. She identified 5,150 stones or something. You're required to do 1,700.
That's crazy. She's smart. And you have twins.
Smart cookie. Twin girls. They are 9. They'll be 10 in December.
Oh my gosh. They're big.
They're big. Yeah.
Oh, they were still babies.
They're still my babies, but yeah, they're almost 5 feet tall.
They're about to be teenagers.
Yeah, it's too soon.
Have they already gotten sassy?
Yes. They
Yeah.
were always sassy.
Yeah. It's just going to get worse. Lawson's 16 and his sass hit at 13, but I've heard girls can get sassy early.
Yeah.
Sounds fun. I was going to ask what drew you into opals, but now we already know because of your
Yeah.
origins.
Because my dad
Yeah.
did that. But
What's your favorite gemstone?
Probably opal if I had to pick one. Like I love all color gemstones. Like I love all of them for different reasons, but if I had to pick one, it would probably be opal. And part of that, the reason is that opal is so wide. Between you have doublets and you have triplets and you have boulder and you have light opal and black opal and fire opal, and there's so many different kinds of opal, and every opal is so unique and different into its own kind. Like it has its own quirks and its own personality, and then every opal is different. And that's what I love, is that you never get bored, because the next opal you look at is like, oh my God, look at this one, look at this one, look at this one. It's just like, and it's not like, when you've seen a beautiful diamond, you've seen a beautiful diamond. They all kind of look this like.
I like diamonds and gemstones.
Yeah. Retail, you gotta love diamonds and gemstones. But for me, it's like colors where it's at. Diamonds are good for the sparkly stuff, just to make the.
We've gotten with diamonds to where we like the antique cuts a lot, because they're just so different. You know what I mean? That has more character to it too. Anything, I feel like it's character. Anything with a story, all the colors, the light, the play of color.
That's what I love about color is that it's all about the people. Like every step of the process, like there are no big corporations really in the color gemstone business. Is that it's mostly artisanal mining. And so I've been to mines on 6 of 7 continents, nothing in Antarctica yet. But, going to the gem mines, and almost every part of the process, they feel like they have so much passion about the gemstone in that section. So like the miner loves what the gems look like rough.
Yeah.
Not saying that they couldn't become more beautiful, but they love, and they're so like enthralled with what comes out of the ground.
Everybody on every step loves what they do.
And then the cutter is like, how do I make this rough more beautiful? And they're in love with just the loose color gemstones. And then you give it to a jewelry designer and they put it into metal, and so it's wearable now. And they're like, wow, look at how much more amazing it looks now that it's set in something. But it's like every part in the process, that next person isn't thinking, wow, I can't wait to see not that they don't care what it's going to look like at the end process. They're just so enthralled with their section and their part in that process. And then it gets to go to someone to go home. And this is one of the favorite things that I've ever heard her say is, how many people every Christmas morning are hugging and laughing and crying with one of our pieces? That's what I love about the jewelry industry, is we get to celebrate life's most important and happiest moments.
Mm-hmm. That couple you saw on her earlier, he got her the ruby, the Mozambique ruby. But it was like they've been together for, I think it was like 30 something years, but he was like trying to say something like, thank you, I love you. Yeah. Like this life has been, like really wow her. We like found the gemstone, designed it. And she was just like, I can't believe you did this. Like, just the look on her face, I don't know. It's like they've been together for so long, but they almost look like they're 24-year-old kids again for a second. You know what I mean?
And that's what I love about this business, is it's that all the relationships all the way along the process. And then as you give jewelry, it's that you're just solidifying another relationship.
Yeah.
And so it's the relationship that we have, the relationship I have with my suppliers and the miners, and that storytelling all the way through. And then when that final story of why that person's giving that piece to someone or buying it for themselves or whatever it is, that story becomes the most important story in the whole chain of events. But it's just, every story is so important in this business.
Yeah, I love it. I usually ask, what's it like to be a woman in business? I was like, what's it like to be a man in business?
A white man in business. So it's in the jewelry business, it's kind of true, is that it's now becoming a little bit more of the minority, which is really where it should be, because jewelry is made for women. Like the majority of jewelry, not all, but the majority.
The whole time.
Yeah, is that, and that's what I've been saying is that I'm surrounded by women. I work mostly with women. And so I love it.
At it.
Yeah, you should be. Like, it's for you. Like, for the most part, I mean, I'm trying to step up the game with some man brooches and some big rings and
man brooches.
That's it. Yeah, it's,
Drew behind the camera is supporting with all the jewelry too.
All the jewelry. I don't know that I would look so good with earrings. I just don't think I can pull it off.
You can pull it off.
I think that when I came into the business in 07, 08, I felt like when I walked around the shows that the shows tended to be pretty white and old and male dominated.
Yeah.
And I love that when we walk the show today is that you have so many more women designers and women owners and women, Like it's a huge shift in just that short period of time, where it really was. If you go back to the early 1900s all the way up until the early 2000s,
I like where
mid
the
2000s.
design is going to. Like I feel like it's edgier, it's different. It's just getting cool and weird.
Yeah. I think design, I think technology's helping us. Is that I think with CAD and with now with AI, I think you're going to see all kinds of crazy, weird stuff happen.
Okay, you brought up AI. So like, how are you using AI in any way?
Not for design at this point. Other than like quick drawings, like to say, hey, someone loves this, but they want to see it in yellow gold and in a different stone. You can literally say, hey, here's our design. I want to see it in yellow gold and with a ruby. And it was in a sapphire and white gold, and that AI will just do it for you. And so we've used it a little bit for that, for quick renders. I'm really excited what it can do for CAD, because CAD's such a time sink right now.
It's like 7 days. It's like everybody says they're a 48-hour turnaround.
Yeah.
No, they're not. It's like 7 days later. I mean, but
it's a time sink, and so it takes a lot of time. And
I really can't say anything either, though, because I tried to learn it and I was so intimidated. I made it like a week and I just canceled.
Yeah, and there's one thing about being able to draw something up or make jewelry in CAD, but that doesn't mean it's manufacturable. That just means you made a 3D rendering of something that looks like jewelry. But then you have to still take it through the process. You have to be able to grow a wax, so it has to be growable. Then you have to be able to cast it, so it has to be castable. Like there's all these steps in the process that people are like, what do you mean you can't do that? It's like, you got to think about thick to thin, because when the gold is going in, when it's liquid, if something's really thin and then it goes to something thick, the gold won't make it all the way to that thick part when in the casting process. So it gets complex. So that's part of what's going to take AI.
Designs are like super funky and fun. So I guess I don't know if I've had anything where I had to go thin to thick.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. Typically you go with more thick to thin, but that's because that's how it works.
Nerding out. Designing. Okay, so we'll go back to the early 2000s when I interrupted you.
So in the early 1900s to 2000s, it was very much a male-dominated industry, is that most of your designers were male, most of your jewelers were male, most of the retailers were male, and men bought the jewelry and gave it as gifts. And so that's what I think is great now is that women have their own money, their own ideas, their own everything. Yeah, exactly. And so it's really changed.
Getting it, self-purchasing. Yeah. I don't need a reason. Celebrate myself. I got myself this right here, this opal necklace. Cool. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah. And I got myself this. And I got myself all of this.
All of this.
Except for my engagement ring.
Yeah. So that's one of the things that I've just really loved, because that's really changed the industry. And I think when you talk about the advancement in jewelry design and the advancement of, I think men in design and jewelry are quite boring and basic. Like, I think that's what really changed the jewelry thing is, I can say it. It's true. I think it is. And that my dad will say the same thing is that a lot of when Brecken first started designing, she was just designing for herself. That wasn't her job when she first came to work for us. I started in 2007 as a road warrior. So I moved to Columbus, Ohio, and I covered Michigan, Indiana, Ohio, Western New York, Western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, Northern Kentucky. Selling. Okay. On the road, calling on jewelry stores. 07, 09. Right in the middle of the recession.
Oh, that's right. We just said that earlier, because I started in 08, really 09, and you were 07. Yeah. It was rough.
It was rough for a little bit. It was
not for the faint. I think that's why we're so resilient.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brecken worked for a science museum. So she wasn't in the jewelry industry at all. So she worked for COSI, which is a children's science museum in Columbus, Ohio. And she'd go out on the road and go to grade schools and do like presentations.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And so then eventually she was like, I want to join the family business. When I moved back to Idaho in 09, she's like, I want to join the family business. Well, we laid some people off during the recession. Not a good time to hire the daughter-in-law. So my dad's like, what we don't have is we don't have anyone that's worked retail jewelry. That, we had staff of like 18, 19 people at the time, and no one had ever worked retail jewelry. So she went to work for the local jewelry store in town at Molinelli's. And so she worked at Molinelli's doing retail jewelry for 2 years. And then we finally had an opening in the company. And so
that was a good idea.
Yeah.
Good move.
I thought so. And so she came on as like the trade show coordinator. So she would sign up for all the trade shows, order all the lights and the electricity and the showcases, and then help like merchandise the displays and like But
This
that
was before
more,
Stephanie.
Yeah, this was way before Stephanie.
Okay.
Yeah, this was way before Stephanie. So this was like, Stephanie's been with us 4 years, 5 years.
Gosh, it feels like it's been longer.
It seems like it's been longer. It was
Yeah.
just before COVID. So I think like 19. So like maybe 6 years, 5 years, 6 years. Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. So Brecken came to us and started doing that. And then she would see gems and be like, I want that, but I want to do this. And my dad would be like, oh, that'll never sell. Sorry, Dad, but it's true. That'll never work. And then she's like, well, I'm going to do it. So she would make the piece for herself and she'd wear it. And people were like, well, I want that. I'd be like, that's
the
not
earrings.
for sale.
Yeah. 'Cause I was like, what is happening? Because when I saw those, I think we did some. So y'all made some for us. We got some you already had. And then that was when around the time I went on that gemstone bender.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah, you were buying a lot of loose.
Yeah. And then I realized that I bought more. So I bought so much it would take 3 years to sell them all. So then we made earrings for 3 years.
Yeah, gear down.
Yeah.
Slow
They were
down.
so pretty. Yeah. I don't know. I was
But
like,
we
I'm gonna
made
be
some
in the
cool stuff together.
We really did.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was really fun. Like amazing pieces.
Yeah.
Would change nothing. It was so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah. Let's see. I think because that was right before COVID.
Right.
Yeah.
Right before COVID.
Yeah.
And so then she started making stuff for herself. People would order things right off of her. And then my dad said, wait a second here, maybe she has a point. And so she started kind of working with my dad on the design side of things and going on the overseas trips when we were working with our overseas manufacturers, as well as doing stuff in-house. And so she started getting really involved in all of that. And so that would have been, so let's see here, 07, 09, 9, 10, 11. She was at Molinelli's. So she started with us like 11, 12. So she probably really started taking over the design stuff in like 15.
That's cool.
10 years.
She's doing a great job. So I bet you're wondering why Jonathan is in the vault. In Hattiesburg, it's because we're at Oktoberfest. So this is our second Oktoberfest. So I like to pick the end of September. I don't know if you know this, but I love Sapphire and I love Opal. And so it's like that kind of conjoining weekend.
Yeah.
So that way I'm kind of touching both.
Yeah.
And then Oktoberfest is actually at the end of September or in September, not in October. So Drew's friend Ben is part of Sopro, the local brewery, and he's like the brewmaster. He makes all these cool beers, and everyone loves our Oktoberfest one. So last year I was like, Opals. There's so many variations, like you said. So I was like, what if we did a flight of Opals? And I was like, and then we could do a flight of beers. And it was so much fun. So we've moved to Hattiesburg now, and we have this 2,700 square foot patio. So I was like, I want to make Oktoberfest like a big, fun event every year. Rainbow balloons at the front. So every year we kind of get bigger and cooler. So Jonathan brought the most amazing collection. You really outdid yourself. You guys, that's exquisite. So now we're going to be keeping a few of them through the holidays because we have to buy some. But so I really appreciate you coming and bringing it all.
Absolutely. No, that's one of my favorite things is the relationships, like I said, are so important to us as a business. And so I love to get out on the road and not only get to come see you, but also your clients, because it gives me a better idea of who's actually buying all these things that we make. So that's one of my favorite parts is getting to work with your customers to see what do they really love and what do they, because it also gives good feedback for Brecken of they love this, they don't love that, they they would love to see more of this. So it's really interesting from that standpoint, and it gives us a better idea of who are our customers, who are our clients, what are they up to, what are they
back to your sales roots.
Yeah,
on the roads.
Back on the roads.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So last question. I just want to ask, because you've been doing this for a very long time, so 19 years, almost 20 years, right?
Yeah, almost 20 years.
And now we have lab grown and all this kind of crazy stuff going on. Where do you feel like you see the industry going?
I think the industry is going towards things that are unique and different that have a story. That's what I've found at these events, and I do a lot of special events, and I've been finding that the consumer is really drawn to things that have a story. Where did this come from? Who mined it? Who cut it? Where did you manufacture it? Why did you design it this way? Where else is this kind of gemstone found? And what do the mines look like? And what are they? All those different questions are things that I think it's a hard thing at a retail standpoint for you to answer all those questions. So I love being able to come in as the gemstone expert and be able to answer all those questions. And then at the same time, I think that's the progression of where it's going to go is more storytelling, more needing to know where it came from and why it came from there and what makes it special. And I think that's what's really important is because, my dad always said from a sales standpoint, there's always 3 questions that every consumer asks you or doesn't ask you, but is thinking in their head. What is it? That's pretty easy. You look at the tag. It's an opal. It's a Boulder opal. It's a whatever. How much is it? You look at the price tag. It's this much money. Then the one question that a lot of times they'll never ask you, but it's what's going in their head is, why is it that much? What makes it special?
What's the story?
Yeah, what's the story? Why is it rare? Is it not rare? How rare is it? Like, that's the whole thing, is we're working in gems and jewelry, which are already rare, but how rare is it? Like, how special is this that we're looking at? Is this something that, you can go get another one in a week or tomorrow? Or is it something that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity to buy? And I think that really makes a difference in how much money you're willing to shell out on one side. But on the other side, it makes it special. Like, to say, hey, I've got something that not everybody can have.
I agree. I think even like being in the industry too, the longer you're in it, you care more and more about how unique is this, how, old or rare or cool, what's its story, who did it, who touched it, like where's it been? You know what I mean? You like gravitate towards that also, or I do anyways.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's what draws me to color is, there's a lot more money in diamonds, but I think color has more story.
I think the industry is headed towards color.
I hope so.
I'm calling it forecasting, but I know, like, we've been doing the antique cut diamonds for about 6 years. And the longer you do something, the better you get at it, designing pieces around it. And so I've noticed they've just gotten more popular. Then Taylor Swift gets one. So I'm like, everybody hold on.
There you go.
But I feel like with lab grown and AI and all this, like, people are going to go more towards gemstones.
Yeah.
Yeah, towards color.
Things that are natural and came out of the ground.
Yeah.
It's
and their rarity, and they have a story, and
the story, and
everybody it touched and passed through. Yeah.
It's cool stories.
Mark my words.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, so thank you for coming and being our first In the Vault guest in the vault.
I love it.
And also for being the first man in the vault, right? Being interviewed. This is great. And thank you so much for bringing all this beautiful jewelry.
Absolutely.
You're watching this after Oktoberfest, but Oktoberfest 2026 will be insane.
Coming.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.